Welcome to the Everything Podcast. In this episode, I'm going to be recapping Season 3 of Abbott Elementary. I'm recording this episode on Thursday, the 16th of April, 2026. And in today's episode, obviously, I'll be recapping Season 3 of Abbott Elementary. I have previously recorded my recaps and for Season 1 and Season 2, so check those out if you haven't already, because I would imagine that I know Season 1 is available on all platforms, and Season 2 I'm not so sure, as in the podcast episode, not the actual show, which is available on Disney Plus around the world. But yeah, before I spoil the events of Abbott Elementary Season 3, here's the trailer.
Good day to the fine teachers of Abbott Elementary. What?
No comment about Gregory being F-O-I-N foin.
No, that is highly inappropriate. I went to Harvard this summer. I've learned what it truly takes to do the job of a principal.
Break it up, slackers. I got cameras all over this joint.
She must be stopped.
Yeah, trying out cursing, see how it goes. Oh, no. Gregory and I are good.
Yeah, no, we're fine.
Interesting.
They cannot stand any more of this new Ava, and you are a very powerful tool.
All these rules are so hard.
Here's a rule. Put your arms away, Jeremy Allen Black.
You guys missed a lot.
Son of a...
Feels forced.
That was the trailer for Abbott Elementary Season 3, which, as I alluded to in my recap for Season 2, is a shorter season with 14 episodes, which was the case because of both the writers and actors strikes in the US. You might remember them from a couple of years ago. So instead of the 22 episodes, we ended up with 14 across 13 weeks because the first 2 episodes were a two-parter. So on Disney Plus, I think it's 13 episodes, but the first episode is Career Day Part 1 and 2, hence why it's double the length. So that's why instead of having Career Day Part 1, then Part 2. Obviously the real reason why it's a shorter season is that there is actually in the show actually explains that it's because obviously it's being filmed and that they were robbed. So that's the reason it's given in the show. And we learn, as you got into the trailer there, that Ava is now trying to be a good principal instead of being how she has been for the first 2 seasons. And that Janine has decided to work at the district, at least on a temporary basis, which we'll talk about that as episodes come on. So we see Josh Segarra as well in this season, who you might know from I know him from Arrow and She-Hulk. He appeared in both of those things, so it's nice to have him as reoccurring, and he actually appears in Season 4 as well, which I'll get onto. But parts 1 and 2, so Career Day, kind of lots of different careers and talks with lots of the different kids, and then we have that, and then episode 3 of the season. This is where it's going to get confusing because it's got different numbers on Disney Plus to what the actual episodes are. So Season 3, Episode 3, titled Gregory's Gone Goofballs, is that some of the older kids have been starting to hang out in Gregory's classroom, and Gregory doesn't know how to feel about this and decides to ask for advice from the other staff on it, and he kind of ends up causing harm to issues that he doesn't want, as Melissa and Barbara talk to him about with that kind of stuff. So that's kind of a very different thing. And then we have Season 3 Episode 4 rather, got the numbers right, just the wrong way around, titled Smoking, where an older student is caught smoking, and then kind of it turns out to be a kid that has never done anything wrong, and it turns out to be a once off, and then there's what the rules are on the Abbott website versus what the districts say and all of that stuff that kind of falls in. Then we have season 3 episode 5 titled Breakup, which kind of focuses on Barbara's stuff in the church, which we've never seen Barbara at church or anything like that, so it was a nice addition. And then we have season 3 episode 6 titled Willard R. Abbott, which is kind of the season, the episode, which is the person that Abbott Elementary is named after, who turned out to be a massive racist, which obviously doesn't want. So the district wants to give Abbott Elementary a plaque for this until they find out that. So then Janine, Gregory, and who else am I looking for? And Jacob tried to find out another Willard Abbott that the school can be named after. They do, and it turns out that he's a conspiracy theorist that believes that the earth is flat. So they end up not getting it, and then they kind of end up doing a different thing with Janine, because Janine by this part of the season is still at the district, but she works at Abbott some of the time as well, so it's very an interesting thing. Then we have season 3 episode 7 titled Librarian, which is where a new librarian, as the title would suggest, is introduced to Abbott, because because until then there's not been a librarian, and it's all been very confusing, and Barbara doesn't like the way the librarian honours things, and then it's a pilot program that Janine has brought, so she's worried about what Janine's going to write to the district, and it turns out it's very positive. Then we have season 3 episode 8 titled Panel, where Ava and Gregory are invited to a panel to talk about public schools. And then we have season 3 episode 9 titled Alex, which is where Gregory Gregory's still at Abbott. Janine still works for the district most of the time, so hasn't noticed that Gregory's noticed that a child has been missing from school for a while because they miss Janine. And then Gregory tells Janine about this. They try to figure it out. They do eventually, because they go into their house, which is district policy, but they do it because it's what's best for the child, to try and get them to come back to school. And then we have season 3 episode 10 titled To Ava 2 Fest, which is Ava Fest, which is Ava's now annual fundraiser thing to do, so she can raise money for Abbott. Then we have season 3 episode 11, which is a double date between Jacob and someone he met at his first aid course, and Gregory and Jacob's date's friend, where they notice Janine and Gregory's just distracted by seeing Janine and Manny together, and Tariq and Erica there as well, so he gets very territorial and jealous, and it's a side of Gregory that we'd not seen before. Then we have season 3 episode 12 titled Mother's Day, which is obviously the first and only, I think, I don't know about season 5, but the first Mother's Day episode, where kind of we learn that Gregory's mum has passed away, and how Barbara celebrates Mother's Day, and then that becomes a thing, and then Gregory shows Barbara what he does on Mother's Day. And then we have season 3 episode 13 Smith Playground, which is kind of the field trip episode of the season, because the school doesn't have any money, so they go to a playground where they meet, whether they're with another school, Liberty Reigns or something, which is who's the principal, is Ava's arch nemesis, so they kind of end up fighting, whereas the children just get on, and there's hints at things between Janine and Gregory. And then we have the finale of season 3 episode 14 titled Party, where Janine decides to throw a party for everyone and gets really stressed and kind of gives everyone jobs to do, and it ends up with Janine and Gregory kissing at the end, and kind of the cameras being shooed away for obvious reasons. So yeah, that's how season 3 ends. So let me know what you thought of Abbott Elementary season 3 if you watched it, my recap if you didn't, and without further ado, I will see you in a future episode of the podcast. See you then. Goodbye.